Tara. It's just kind of a weird place to record, but if you saw, it's in one of my other videos. I'm not sure which one, but if you've kept up with my videos, then you know that at lunch I kind of escape and go on my own. I'm just in the music area. This is a practice room, so it's soundproof, so no one can hear me. So yeah, I thought I would make a video since there isn't really much else to do. I found on a blog that I was reading just a list of questions. It's for invisible illness awareness. So I thought I would go ahead and answer them for myself. I have them right here on my computer. So the illness I live with, it would be ME, obviously. And on my very first video, there is a list of all the other names for it. It has a bunch of names that all mean the same thing. But ME specifically stands for myalgic encephalomyelitis. It actually is spelled pretty much like it sounds, so if you want to research that, you can go ahead. I was diagnosed in the year 2014, but I had symptoms since 2012. That was 2 questions, but the biggest adjustment I've had to make, always planning for the worst, just so I know what I have to do if the worst thing happens, and then having to do a lot less of the activity than I'm used to. Most people assume that I'm healthy. It's an invisible illness, so nobody really knows about it unless I tell them, or unless they see that something's wrong and they're like, oh hey, what's wrong with you today? So the hardest part about mornings are getting out of bed, and I made a video about that. My favorite medical TV show is, and I don't really watch much TV, so I don't have one. A gadget I couldn't live without is my phone, because I have like my whole life on my phone. I have Facebook, YouTube, everything. I text people, I have my work schedule. So the hardest part about nights are waking up so much and not getting back to sleep, but still having to get up and go in the morning. Each day, currently, I take 16 pills and vitamins, but it does switch weekly depending on what I feel I need that specific week, and I like to kind of switch it around to, just so that I know what works and what doesn't, and that. Regarding alternative treatments, I do aromatherapy, yoga. I wear Baltic amber necklaces. I have 2 right here. There's a green one and a kind of buttercream colored one. And this is actually an aromatherapy necklace. And I also said magnets and metals because there's certain jewelry that have like healing metals, or magnets are supposed to be good, and those are kind of borderline pseudosciences, but they don't do anything bad, so might as well. So if I had to choose between an invisible illness or a visible one, I would choose, I just said that what I have was given to me for some reason, so I'd rather just keep what I have. Regarding working and career, so I work part-time and I go to school part-time, and I struggle a lot of the times with both, and I know eventually I'm not going to be able to do both because I feel like I'm kind of going downhill right now, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll be able to keep my job, but right now school is my first priority, so I might have to see if I can get less hours and just kind of take it easy a little bit more. People would be surprised to know that I strive to make the best out of all the suckiness in this situation. The hardest thing to accept about my new reality has been my social life. I do not really keep track of too many friends anymore. I just have a couple really close ones, and yeah, I just don't really socialize that much. Something I never knew that I could do with my illness is keeping up somewhat as a gymnast. As a kid, I was a gymnast for 5 years. That's how long I was taking like classes and going to the gym and doing all that. And I don't do that regularly, but I have kept up with yoga and stretching. I've kept up my flexibility, and I definitely have some strength, not near what I had. And some of the skills I still have, and every once in a while, if I'm having a really, really good day and it's a nice day with the weather and everything, I can go outside and do a couple things as long as I'm taking breaks in between and not pushing myself too hard, which is really nice. The commercials about my illness, there aren't any. Something I really miss doing since I was diagnosed is being constantly active. I was a really, really active kid. I was always doing something. It was really hard to have to give up reading. I'm a pretty avid reader, or I have been in the past. I still do read, but it's completely exhausting to read more than a half an hour to 45 minutes at a time. A new hobby I have taken up since my diagnosis is, well, I listed it with the questions that I started making YouTube videos, but I just thought of another thing. I've become a lot more crafty. I do a lot of sewing and crocheting and knitting and that type of stuff, so that's a lot of fun too. If I could go one day feeling normal again, I would take a day-long walk, maybe not day-long, but I would take a really, really long walk and walk around town and just go sightseeing. My illness has taught me a lot of patience. I'm not really a patient person, I guess you could say, but you have to be patient when you're waiting for good days to be able to do the things you want to do. Want to know a secret? One thing people say that gets under my skin is, how are you? I hate that question because normally when people ask it, they're expecting you to say, I'm good, or okay, or fine, whatever, and they don't really want to know what is ailing you or what is actually happening in your life. They just want that simple answer. But I love when people treat me normally while keeping my limitations in mind. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but what I mean by that is just like not trying to make me do things or anything like that, and just being my friend, and doing normal things with me, but also keeping in mind what I can and can't do, and not asking me to do something after I have already said that I can't do it. My favorite motto, scripture, or quote that has got me through tough times, and I liked the one that was already in here actually, and it was just one day at a time, and that's definitely how it goes with people with ME. It's amazing my recording is still going. Okay, so when someone is diagnosed, I would like to tell them, don't let all the information that is thrown in your face get you down, because you will not have every symptom. You will not have even half of them, most likely. There are so many different symptoms, and nobody has the same form of ME as anyone else. And also that you're going to have good days along with your bad days. I mean, you might have even a long streak of bad days, but there's going to be a good day eventually. Just keep that in mind and look forward to it. It will, just like the question said, it'll help you get through the tough times. Okay, so something that has surprised me about living with my illness is that sometimes it feels fake. Sometimes I feel like I don't really have this and I'm just faking it all. And those are on my really good days when I can do a lot of the things that I used to do. But then when I get to a bad day, I'm like, okay, I do have this and I need to deal with it and that. Okay, the nicest thing someone did for me when I wasn't feeling well, I haven't really had this illness for that long, and I was just diagnosed this year, so no one really knows that much about it. So it's kind of depressing to say, but nobody really has done anything. The fact that you read this list makes me feel like someone is finally paying attention to the grim details that no one else likes to hear about. People in my life, I complain and they just kind of listen and they're like, whatever. But if I'm talking to someone else who is going through the same things, it seems like they understand, and I can tell them and I can complain to them without seeming like I'm complaining. It's just like a conversation. So that's really nice. And that was the last question. There was 30 of them. So that's it. You can subscribe if you want to see more of my face and want to continue this. You can comment any videos you would like to see, or you can comment anything really, I guess. And that's it. I gotta get back to class soon, so thank you for watching.